Hi everybody, Sausen here. I hope you're all well. I am sending this little video blurb because I wanted to share with you some insights on the reflections. And I know that we've talked about it a little bit, and I know that some of you have already gone ahead and written your first reflection. So that's great, and I will review them and give you feedback on them. But I wanted to just also give you a little bit more insight because I know that some people have asked for this. So in your internship handbook, there is this Appendix D field reflection template. And I don't believe that we have it in Word format, but it's not a difficult template to put together in a Word format. It has an area where you put your name, the date, your mentor school, the standards that might be addressed in this particular reflection, and then a place to list your activity. The activity should really be a one-sentence sort of title, which is that this is the PPT reflection, or this is the Board of Education reflection, or this is your out-of-level reflection, or your PIP reflection number 1, etc. In the observation area, you will want to talk about just the facts of what you saw. What did you see? In a very objective and kind of flat way. Who was involved? What happened? Where was it? Why was it happening? Etc. And in terms of the overall length for a reflection, I'm thinking about 1.5 pages single spaced at the most, something like that. If you want to go over, that's fine, that's your business. But in terms of limits, 1.5 pages single spaced is good. The really meaty part is the reflection, and this is where you're thinking about what it is that what you saw. You're reflecting on it from a leadership perspective, and you can think about it. You could say, as a teacher, I might think about it this way, but as I look through my leader lens, this is what I'm beginning to see, and these are things that struck me. And in something like, for example, in a Board of Education meeting, there are a lot of things that are going on. So you may want to say this happened in the observation section. You may want to say this happened and this happened and this happened. But really, what I want to do is I want to talk about this one piece of the Board of Education meeting. And then in the reflection section, you would you would reflect very deeply on that one piece. The recommendations area is where you provide bulleted recommendations. So maybe you have 3 or 4 recommendations that you would advance to, say, in a Board of Education, the leaders who led that meeting, or maybe people who were involved in the meeting to make it a better meeting. Or you might talk about, if I were the leader in this meeting, or if I had such and such a role in this meeting, I would do X, Y, and Z, and I would recommend this going forward. I would make these kinds of policy recommendations. I would make these kind of process recommendations. So, I want you to be thinking along those lines. The very last thing is that you've heard me say I'd really like you to have 2 pieces. I'd like you to refer in each reflection. I'd like you to refer to 2 peer-reviewed articles on the topic. And so what that means is that I'd like you to go to the research literature. That means go to the Bewley Library webpage and search out an article from an education database. And you can click on the subject. You can search for articles, click on education, and then choose an education database. Education full text is a good one because it always has the full text articles. And you select 2 articles that are on that topic. You should look through a few of them and select the 2 that you think are best toward your topic, and skim them over and read and see if there's anything that they have to say that might inform your thinking about leadership in a certain context. So you might look up articles on Board of Education meetings or a certain aspect of those. You might look up articles for your PPT meetings or certain aspects of those, interpersonal dynamics, leadership within PPT meetings, difficult PPT meetings, and so on. And the idea is that you'll be able to learn something from these articles that you can then sort of use in your thinking and in your recommendations for what happened. So I hope that that makes sense. And, as I said, I'll be giving you feedback about your reflections. But the point is for you to be really a leader and say, look, I went to this event, I observed it, this is what I saw, just the facts. When I reflect on it, these are the kinds of things that it makes me think from a leadership perspective. And then these are the recommendations that I have for how I might improve that experience as a leader. And they can be recommendations that are directed, as I said, toward yourself or toward the other people in your organization. Um, so I hope that that's helpful. And I also wanted to say that I know that you have a lot of, I've seen the last couple of days submissions coming in for PIPs, for your logs, and also for first reflections. So I'll be going over those and commenting on them. I'm also going to start sending out emails about setting up our meetings in districts with your mentors. And eventually, I'll also send out an email about sometimes that sign a doodle poll for signing up when you and I, each of you and I will talk by phone. I would like to have two meetings where we all meet together and we could try, I think we can try and do that virtually. I think virtually works out well with that. So also look forward to that. As ever, let me know if you have questions. I am here. And in general, all of you are doing well, each of you individually. And I am tracking you and watching what you're doing in the beginnings of this internship. And so far, so good. Everybody looks like they're doing pretty well. Okay? So take good care and thank you for your time. All right, see you later.